In this video, I want to talk about why we make our lives so complicated as we get older in our 60s. Because I'm finding that a lot of the comments that I'm getting is more of how you're making your life or made your life more difficult. So I took my notes. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So I want to talk about all of the things that I used to overthink. When I first turned 60, and I've spoken about some of these before, my biggest worries, literally, like the day I turned 60, as I was walking down steps in my home, I'm thinking, how am I going to get through this? What happens when I can't, make the steps anymore? And I thought that for a full year. Like I said, I would wake up in the middle of the night and think this over and over. And I have steps going down to my kitchen, and they're not the best steps in the world. They're like, they weren't made right. I always say, I think that the person who built my home was a little bit drunk and didn't really know what they were doing, or whoever was helping them. So the steps aren't even. So I was thinking about all that. So I was complicating my life with that. Then I started thinking all these other things. Well, I'm going to die soon. Why was I doing this complicated thinking? I just don't get it. Do you think like this? If you do, or did you? Let me know in the comments below. Now, as I told you, when I turned 61-ish, my thoughts started being less complicated. But I thought of things, do I have that book here? No. I thought of things where I actually immediately bought a book to write in that tells you things that you need to know after I die. And I even told my friend about it. She got it too, but she's going to be 80. Yeah, I just started complicating so many things. So things that other people are telling me are more complicated as they become seniors. Technology. And I did a couple of videos on tech, but nobody watches them. Technology is, I would say, the number one thing that seniors write to me about that's very complicated. Not only just learning the internet, if they haven't already, but filling out healthcare forms on the portal, when they go to doctor's offices and now they have to check in on a portal or a computer. These things for seniors seem more difficult than they are. And I know if you've worked in an office, you probably know how to do all these things. But if you haven't, if you've been a mother or a grandmother who's retired and you didn't really work on computers, this could be very difficult for you. So what did you do to combat that? Let some other people in the community know so that they can do that. I can tell you that earlier in my life, even when I knew different things on computers, I made myself learn more. And I do that constantly. So this complicated thing that might be very complicated in your mind may not be very complicated. So the only thing that I can say is I learn everything on YouTube. So if you're thinking, oh my God, I don't know how to fill out forms online or whatever, you're going to find it somewhere online. And if not, there will be directions within that site that you are filling out a form on. It really seems more complicated if you haven't worked with computers, but it makes everything much easier. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt sometimes, but literally, if you go into a healthcare facility and you don't know what to do, have them come out and teach you, because they should. You shouldn't just know what to do. They shouldn't expect you to just know what to do. So that is a thing that is very complicated for a lot of people. I know the computer, and the first time I went in, I was like, what? So that's something that I think isn't as complicated as we all think is. Another one that I'm hearing lately is when people have to get on their banks. They're having so many issues.
Erwin. Many seniors are struggling with online.
Another thing that people are sending me messages about is banks. Going into your bank account online and all these authentications, and some of them say they forget their passwords, but they don't want to write it anywhere. There are so many different things, smartphones being one of them. But let me tell you, once you learn how to use it, you're going to be like, oh my God, why wasn't I doing this years ago? Everything I do now is on my smartphone. And it makes it easy, not more complicated. Let's think of some other things that we complicate. Let me know in the comments what you either thought was complicated and really isn't or wasn't, or what you learned and now it's not complicated. I'm really curious to hear. The other thing that I am hearing is about the smart home. What do you even call it? The smart home electronics? I don't know what I'd even call it. People are finding that difficult too, but it is something that can make life so much easier. So I would say just get on YouTube and search for these sites. And I think that what you think was complicated won't feel complicated anymore. I think sometimes people over 60, especially their 70s and 80s right now, I think we tend to make things overcomplicated if we don't know about them, or if we haven't heard about them and we're just doing it now. We're just hearing about them now. I think we make it a little bit overcomplicated. So let's make a pact as a community to learn new things as they come up. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about with you. And even if I don't know about it, I'm going to find out about it so that we learn together. So don't make that complicated either. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we make complicated. I can tell you what I made complicated: vacuuming. You're going to be like, what? Vacuuming. Because until I got my little automatic little vacuums, my Shark, do I have two Sharks? Yeah, I think I got Shark. A lot of people buy the I forgot what it's called. But Roomba? No. Yeah. Roomba? I don't know. But it's the best thing I ever did in my life. I never got it because it was too expensive. That's the other thing. We complicate expenses. Let me tell you, go to garage sales, go thrifting like I do. You know, I'm a thrifter. I'm a reseller. And find these things that you want. You know, I sell on Poshmark and I'm starting to sell on other places. I got one on Poshmark that was brand new for half the price, I'd say this one was. A little bit more than that. And I got one in a garage sale, brand new, $25. Should be like $2.49. So if you have things that are complicating you, that you used to do that are now complicated, find some ways to make them easier. That definitely made my house cleaner by realizing that I can get a little vacuum that does it itself. Yes, you have to do the corners sometimes. And yes, it gets stuck here and there. But oh my goodness, it's the best thing I ever bought. So stop complicating your life. Let me see if I have anything else here. I didn't have any of these on here. But, you know, I just give myself the basics. So, yeah. So I think what happens when people our age or your age get complicated is you just say, I'm not going to do it. This happens with my taxes every year, and I know I have to do it, but it's complicated to me, but I make it complicated. That I know. So I'm going to do my best not to do that this upcoming year. I have said that many years in a row. But I do make it a little better every year. This year, Poshmark screwed me up. That's somewhere where I resell on. But I do make it better and better every year. I want to read a card to you. Let me get it. Oh. Yes, guys, I am in my pajamas, you know, because I didn't want to complicate it and get dressed. It's a little chilly today. It hasn't been chilly. Let's see what we got here. My husband bought these for me for, I think, my birthday. Yeah. And I love them. So they are, I'm not sponsoring this or anything. I'm not even going to tell you what they're called. They're just these great affirmations. And this one says, I am getting better and better every day. Each step I take brings me closer to my goals. Let's see if we could find one that has to do with what we're talking about. That does have to do with it. But let's find one more. I am effing amazing and I rock that shit. I'm not a second choice. I'm the prize. All right, so don't make things more difficult. Let's make them easier. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you want me to research anything for you that's been complicated in your life, let me know. I'm always open to learning, and I'm always open to sharing that learning. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, then give it a thumbs up. Maybe hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and comment below. I always enjoy that. And subscribe too.